Hello and welcome to the Night Watch, a place where we gather along and watch a forest whistle. I'm Sai. I'm Curiosity. I'm Observer. And I'm Wanderer. Today's watch-along is going to be the Boroughs, episode 123. The Boroughs is about a seemingly perfect retirement community where a crew of unlikely heroes must stop a threat from taking over the one thing they don't have. Time. Made by the Duffer Brothers. It's the Stranger Things gang again. This will be fun. Wonder what they will show us this time. Well, let us begin. The Night Watch. We start off the series inside a car, driving to an unknown location. The kids and Grandpa is watching a movie in the back. We get to know that Grandpa takes medicine and has some troubles with life.
So is Pill Reminder Pro a game?
No, don't touch that. Grandpa uses it to keep track of all the medicines he needs to stay alive.
Oh, I accidentally deleted it.
Probably for the best.
We get to see that they are driving to a retirement community where the old man is going to spend the rest of his time against his will. It seems that the community is very interested in him, but he isn't interested in the community. We get to see this through a surprising visit. A close neighbor has come and wants to share a beer with him. The neighbor invites him to a barbecue in his honor to welcome the newcomer, but he refuses the invitation. And another neighbor, a former reporter, is digging up his wife's obituary and finding info about him. But to him, the neighborhood just seems like an annoyance. He continues on his mission to escape the contract and goes to the main center. He listens to the audio coming from the speakers and it reminds him of a memory. He seems frustrated, looking for something in the kitchen, but his wife calms him down and they begin dancing. And then something wrong happens.
Lily! Lily! Lily!
Mr. Cooper, are you alright?
He ignores his initial plans and leaves the center. Wait, why does he leave? If he wants to get out of his contract, he should tell them that he is having a heart attack and needs a few seconds. But he leaves instead. Why? That's an interesting thought. Hey, what do you say if we note down all the questions that pop up for the end? Yeah, that'd be nice. Let's think of it while we watch the rest of the forest. We get to see more aspects of this community. There are people who go and keep things safe, and things that get stolen or disappears. We get to see the personality of the people being sent to investigate and the victim, and a surprising clash arises. One wants to help, one wants to keep things in order, and the victim wants resolution. There is a significant clash between the one who wants order and the victim. The main character wakes up once again by the car's rumbling and gets so annoyed to the point that he goes to the neighbor and helps fix the car. Huh? Yes. Let's go! You just gotta love the grumpy, lonely old man that slowly finds community stories. We continue another day and suddenly hear knocking on the walls. We go look, and it is an unknown individual. They speak about a woman named Grace and an owl in the walls. He gets slashed by a knife, but luckily the man gets captured by the doctors. He wants his anger to reach someone with authority, and the officer gives him a more enticing subject than the sheriff. He gets an opportunity to finally meet the owner of the Boroughs itself. He meets the owner and they tell him that he can get out of his contract, provided that he doesn't alert the sheriff. But somehow the owner manages to change his mind about getting out of the contract and give the Boroughs a chance. After that, he decides he wants to give this place at least a shot and goes over to his neighbor and asks for a barbecue.
You know, maybe I should meet the neighbors.
Makes sense. How's Thursday?
No good. No. Friday would work.
Wait, why does he say that Thursday wouldn't work for him? He doesn't have anything to do here besides watching TV, does he? I'll keep that in mind. They begin the barbecue party and share records of accomplishment. They share scars, histories, and fun ambience. It's a fun time, but then suddenly, the reporter begins to suffocate. The main character sees it happen. He understands what is occurring. He knows what needs to be done, but he cannot move. It seems the memory of his late wife has put him on a chokehold. He begins to consider his place in this world, a place where he can't find peace, and how this place is just a waiting room. After a conversation with his new neighbor friend, he gets convinced that this place is not where you go to die, but a place you go to live. And considering that his life is fading, where else can he go and whack the shit out of something when there's a place filled with free award whack courses right here? It's a lot cheaper than breaking doors. He fixes the car, but not his door. Oh, you're right. Yeah, why does he do that? I'm noting that down. He wakes up in the night from the neighbor's alarm and breaks into the house. He enters and sees something strange. A shadowy figure on top of a body. He walks slowly towards the shadowy form and accidentally unplugs the stereo in the process. Episode 2. Unfortunately, it seems the first responders don't believe in his recollections of the occurrences. He realizes that the man that broke in his house might actually be wise. Even he himself begins to use similar metaphors such as an owl in the walls and chooses the same place the old man was looking at. We get to see new characters, a reporter and a stoner. The relationship between the reporter and the stoner is very strained. This strained relationship is actualized in reality through the visual separation of the couple doing their own thing. The stoner going into the desert and the reporter staying home. We get to see a friend of the main character, an old man that studied to be a doctor, struggle with suffering from something that slowly erodes his very time on earth. He's tried every treatment there is, but even in today's age, there is no cure for cancer. We get more information on the victim. They are a teacher and find out that she is regularly interacting with the community. She gathers these small stories and eventually she is convinced she has found a common link in all the stories. Betty's quartz chess pieces are missing. The quartz jewelry missing from the classroom, the quartz coasters that vanished from Paul's kitchen. Someone is stealing worthless quartz rocks, and she finally gets a report made for her case. The condition? She has to go out on a dinner with Paz, the officer who listened.
You promised to take me to dinner.
I'll take you.
I'm watching you, Betty.
Sam, the main character, goes to the man who attacked him, and through showing the old man kindness, despite all the troubles and inconveniences he causes, he finds out that there is a key inside a light, and an owl in the walls. The reporter reminds him that the memorial for Jack is soon happening, and oddly enough, she found something that belonged to him inside the house. And as they begin to have a conversation about the item she found, Sam revealed something that makes the reporter perceive holes in his story. And as more he delivers fractured stories, the more she begins to doubt him. The main character on the outside begins to act frantically, searching behind lamps and digging through the walls. Even he himself perceives this as strange and insanity brewing. I suppose that is an upside. At least he is aware of his actions and their outside appearance. The teacher and the cop start getting closer and begin to create a bond together. The main character begins to rest and watch TV, but he begins to see an unknown light glowing from nowhere. He seeks aid from the doctor. The main character has apparently found out something strange. They gather behind the sofa, and slowly, the reaction begins to get stronger and stronger.
What is a miracle?
The doctor and protagonist duo work together to discover the unknown reaction of a fragment left from the body. The stoner discovers a strange occurrence he cannot explain and goes back to the desert where he saw it and finds the reason behind it. The teacher and the cop work together to build a security system in the classroom, and sometime later, it discovered an unknown movement in there. Sam, the protagonist, begins to have visions of his wife's funeral. Then they hear an unknown noise. They slowly approach the origin of the noise and get pepper sprayed by the reporter. She has finally made the decisive act to believe in the information she gathered and follow the trail directly. I really like this particular quote Sam uses in order to calm the reporter down from alerting the firemen. We all want the same thing. Justice for Jack. Wait, before we continue, can we try and figure out the nature of the monster before more information is revealed? Oh, sure, that would be fun. We know that the creature has right-handed chirality. It most likely does something inside the human, and it reacts to electricity. What if there is some kind of electricity inside humans? There is scientific evidence that certain parts of the human body, for example the heart, create electricity. What if the creature dug into the body and found the electric sources? But why would the creature want that? All creatures die. What if this particular creature can regain their life through stealing the life force of the victim? The creature only attacks through unseen hidden ways and chooses its victims. What kind of people does it attack? What if there's a limit to the creature's abilities and cannot puncture all barriers? Interesting. Here's what I got so far. The creature is a life-stealing being that targets beings who have strained protective barriers, allowing the creature to steal the electric and or other aspects of said victim's life, leading to the disappearance of the individual. And it does this so that it can continue being alive, because if it doesn't do it, it will inevitably die. What do you guys think? Observer? Observer! Yeah? We lost you there for a second. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Hold on. What's this? It's the static of the TV when they did the experiment with the creature's blood. Oh, why did this pop into your mind? I don't know. How about we continue? They find some marks inside his throat. Puncture wounds. It is almost like the monster was feeding on them. How about that? They become afraid that the monster has been feeding on them too, so they shake their throats, and they find out that both of them have it. It has perhaps been feeding on everyone in the Boroughs. We end the third episode with the stoner going into a cave and finding a tree. The tree has an orange fruit, and when he grabs them, it heals his wounds. And then he eats it, just like an ordinary fruit. Now, let's go over the questions we have gathered. Why doesn't he tell them that he has a heart attack and needs a few seconds? Let's look back at the forest. They were driving to the next place. He seems annoyed, but also forced to live in this new place. It's as though the main character doesn't want this community in of itself. Later we get to see how the main character helps someone with a car, but yet doesn't fix his own door. When a person comes into a new community they didn't want to live in, they often feel burdened when they get help from others. In what way are they burdened? In this scenario, it's the desire to be alone. So when he has a heart attack, a part of him is burdened from them helping because he feels his freedom of loneliness being taken away? Yes, that seems plausible. Now the next question. Why does he say that Thursday wouldn't work for him? He doesn't have anything to do here besides watching TV, does he? I think we can use the same logic here too, that he decides to make a sort of barrier between himself and the world by refusing invitations, or making it sound like he isn't actually interested. That seems very extreme. Why would a person go to such lengths to be alone? Loneliness can be a healthy coping mechanism at times. We are all often buzzed with endless amount of information daily, and dealing with it can be overwhelming at times. Change can be hard. Change? Wait, you guys! The static! Remember the static? What about it? What is change? Change is progression, interaction, and dancing at the same time. The static is the creature's change. It activates the alien's blood. What if the people gathered the energy from the TV and the creature uses the people as a medium to access a more comfortable energy source? Oh, you're right. If static is the alien's energy source, then it could mean that it eats the energy of the lonely times people have spent in front of a television. Oh damn, a creature that eats loneliness? That sounds scary. Yeah, that'd be interesting to find out. Whew, that was a nice journey through the forest. What do y'all say? Shall we go over the summarization of our night watch? Yeah, sounds good. Firstly, the characters are realistically imperfect, and all of them play a role in furthering the story. Even the half-son has a role to play. I like his thought of having grief like a pyramid. It's very simplistic, and it may perhaps play a big role in the upcoming episodes. We already see recurring themes, namely doors, doorknobs, change, loneliness, acceptance, and horror or awe of the unknown. The characters use records and stories in order to exclaim their special nature. We see them sharing records of scars, records of intercourse, and stories of the unknown. I think the people in this series can't tolerate the feeling of having reached completion and evolving to the next step. They are still stuck in their own methods of freedom that doesn't serve themselves, but just to sustain the endless run towards the end of their lives. We see the characters fix someone else's car, but not his own door. Remember the specific word the main character used in order to calm the reporter? We all want the same thing. Justice for Jack. I think the reason he doesn't fix the door is mostly because he doesn't want to close his life in this community. But I also believe that the constant fixing of the doorknob is the main character's method of exclaiming justice for his wife. It's him saying to the world, I will be here, but only because of my wife. I believe this is his own method of maintaining the endless run. He chooses to live in tandem with the loss of his wife instead of moving past it. And further on, we get small hints that the people around him are not what they seem. For example, the woman saying that she likes to spew it all out on the desert is a bit on the nose for my taste. Now that they're trying to make it seem like the people running this village are secretly in coops with the monster, but I'd like to believe that is a red herring. And it's the villagers' fault for not listening to the environment and change who they are. What I'd like to see in the upcoming episodes is that the villagers gather wisdom after fighting the monsters day after day, and we get to see how at the end of the series, how they have overcome the static of their lives through building pyramids of wisdom. Speaking of pyramids, I'd like to take a moment and consider the Half-Sons book seriously. Firstly, look at the cover. What do you see? A man standing on an upside-down pyramid. And now, how do the characters explain this book to others? Grief is like a pyramid, with acceptance at the bottom. Now imagine someone is hearing this metaphor for the first time. How do you think they would picture the pyramid? They would picture it like a normal pyramid. So in other words, they would think that acceptance is the first thing you would have to do in order to exchange yourself, and think that the metaphor is simple. I think this metaphor is something we will see a lot further on in the story, and we will see how the characters change their perspective and become greater than they were. But as always, it's best to stay wary of what will come, because you never know what will come at night. Well, it's been a fun time going through the forest. I enjoyed these 3 episodes thoroughly, but I don't think I'm going to do another night watch of this series. We will see though. Thank you for watching.